everybody, this is Adam with PlayPSVR.com, and we're currently writing an article of our top 5 horror PSVR games. And one game that I believe always gets overlooked and really isn't mentioned is Stifled. This is one we'll be showing you a little bit today about and explaining in a little detail, along with some gameplay, on why this game is actually terrifying, and yet I'm surprised that it's always overlooked. So not only is this game terrifying because the anticipation that it builds is just heart-wrenching, but also it's scary in anticipation, in the fact that it's so dark, it's mysterious, and then it's also definitely a psychological thriller. So it's not just jump scares, but actually starts to mess with your mind. And not only that, it's one of those games that has a nice little niche in it that I think just puts it over the top. So as you notice, if you're unfamiliar with the game, as I walk around and specifically as I talk, you see these, they kind of look like sound waves that are pretty much propagating through the hallway and highlighting all of the different objects and walls around me. Well, that's because I'm actually talking while I have the headset on. If I'm quiet, everything turns dark. So the game actually has something built into the headset in which can detect the level of volume that you're emitting, and from that actually sends out and uses echolocation in the game. That to me is just absolutely outstanding. I love that. It's something unique, it's different, it's incredible. I love it. And not only that, but it just makes the game so much more interesting because the enemies in this game can hear. So they can't see you, they can only hear you. So the more noise you make, the higher possibility an enemy will detect you. However, if you're very silent, you move very slow, then they probably won't be able to detect you. But what that causes is a very high amount of anticipation, and a few of the times it's just absolutely terrifying because you don't know how much they can hear, you don't know how close they are, you don't know where they are until it's too late. And you're talking or you're walking and you end up getting attacked. So the game essentially revolves around you wake up mysteriously in a house, and without giving too much of it away, I want to give you some idea of what the plot is. You wake up in a house, you're dazed, confused, you don't know what's going on, the house is empty, you see that you have a wife, however she's missing, and it seems like the two of you have broken up or at least gotten into a fight. The house is somewhat disheveled, and you slowly open and determine and find some of the pieces in which possibly you got in an argument or you were upset with each other in some way, and you later find out the reason inside the game. But essentially, yeah, you're just dazed, confused, and then you go in these worlds like this, and it's just very abstract, it's very psychological, it's just absolutely incredible. Most everybody, first time PSVR users, sure if that happened or if it's because I was talking, but most first-time PSVR users absolutely find this game terrifying. I'm hoping at some point I will find an enemy for you so you understand kind of the combat of the game, but anything that makes noise will light up the path, and it's just, it really is. It's absolutely terrifying. It's an incredible game. The plot is mysterious. It has a good ending. See, you can slowly hear children that ultimately end up being some of your enemies. But it really is fantastic. There's a lot of maze-like elements to the game. There is no actual combat in the game. However, you have to use your wits in order to get through some of the levels. For example, if there are some enemies and they're chasing you because they can hear you because you're obviously walking around, then you may have to use objects and throw them across the room so the enemies chase that object, and then it allows you to kind of sneak by them without being detected. But it really is just, it's a fantastic game. One that I hate is so overlooked. And I know this is only a very brief overview of the game and just a little bit of gameplay, but the game is fairly lengthy, it's decently priced, it's one of the more unique games in the PSVR library, not just horror genre, but in general, and one that I definitely think you should check out if you're looking at the horror genre. This is our number 3 horror game in our top 5 list, and to be honest, it definitely could be higher. It's not Resident Evil 7 scary by any stretch, but it definitely could have been number 2. It's just an overall fantabulous game. I really think if you have kind of overlooked this title, you should go back and take a look at it, because it is absolutely spectacular. We've enjoyed it so much. Unfortunately, it looks like I can't find an enemy for you quickly, but you kind of see the deal and understand what is going on here in the game. And there's like an actual real world part of the game in which you're not in this area in which you have to use echolocation to find your way around, and so you kind of go between the worlds, and it's just very mysterious, very abstract. You don't exactly know what's going on. It's just overall, again, I think it's a fantastic game. And actually, this is perfect. So right here you see like that little blob right there. That's one of the enemies that it's following me because it hears me. So if I'm quiet, I don't know if it will actually walk away. Actually, let's test this, and then we'll end here. So it hears me, so it's following me. However, if I stop, see, I threw that can over there. It heard that, and then it ran over to it. So that what that would allow me to do now is get a chance to get over there to this ladder without getting... Okay, I couldn't make it, it was too close. But you see, essentially, that's the type of gameplay you're getting yourself into. You hear the screams in the background. It's just, everything is just heart-wrenching. It's psychologically depraved. It just wears at you, but in the best way possible. So Stifled is definitely one of those horror games that if you've overlooked, if you haven't tried yet, something you definitely need to take a second look at and give a try. Number 3 on PlayPSVR's top 5 horror games for the PSVR.